the state there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get as many kids, get as many in as we can. But Denver will start the game, and hopefully it builds off of last week's midweek against Southern.
Feel like kind of a weight's been lifted after this past weekend?
Well, maybe momentarily, but once you get back out there, what you did last weekend is great, but that doesn't stay with you for long during the next contest. And so I think it's good for our team to know that we can beat a good team, we can win a series, but then you got to go out and you got to prove it again starting tomorrow night.
I know your bullpen's been pitching really well. Pretty much everybody out there is performing pretty at a high level. Do you have like clear defined roles, or like what's your philosophy on that?
My philosophy is a couple things. One, I think it'd be really good if you did have defined roles. I think it helps if you have a little bit more depth left-handed than what we have to really clearly define them. I think it helps if Spencer Price is healthy and you're clearly defined in that regard as well. I think when you start a season, you have an idea of what you want those guys to do and where you think that they might fit and what they might be able to do well, where they might succeed and what the best matchups would be. But at the same time, you kind of go with who's hot. When guys are getting guys out, kind of like same thing you do with hitting. When guys are doing well, and so that's what leads you to leave Gordy in, not bring in Blake, because the last couple of times Gordy's been in that situation, he's been successful, and you just kind of go. It's not exactly what you might think of in terms of set roles, obviously, but as a whole group of kids, those guys are doing a really good job, and they're performing at a pretty high level.
Auburn's going to run some high-level arms out there this weekend. What have you seen from them, or what are you expecting to see from them?
Well, they're just exactly what you said. You're going to see a bunch of really good arms. I haven't looked at their statistics or anything like that. I certainly have a pretty good idea of their personnel. But we're going to get through Wednesday's game first, and then we'll look at the video and the numbers and all that. But certainly their starting staff is really good, and we're looking at one more weekend of really competitive pitching in the SEC. And you probably get tired of hearing that, but it's true. Every weekend you're seeing top-flight guys, and we've certainly seen some really good starting rotations so far to this point this year.
There were high expectations defensively for Stovall and Alexander as the double play combo, and they've so far been one of the best in the SEC. Have they lived up to your standard?
Yeah, they absolutely have. Yeah, very, very much so. Overall, our team defense has been really, really good. The defensive percentage numbers are skewed a little bit because our pitchers made so many errors early in the year. But our position guys have done a really good job through the course of the season. 33 games into it.
Keegan James is one of those guys in the bullpen who's pitched pretty well for you this year. Is his role going to be in the bullpen going forward? Because in the past he was a starter, I think, here.
You're talking about the remainder of this season? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not looking to replace any of those guys right now, but you never know where things are going, who's going to stay healthy and who's going to continue to do well. But nobody's invincible, and things are always in flux. But right now, I'm happy with where the starting rotation is, and happy with what Keegan's doing. He's pitching really well for us.
You mentioned the call-in show last night about deciding almost game to game, week to week about how you handle third base. I mean, do you think that's going to continue with two freshmen out there battling through the whole season?
I hope so. Not that I'm opposed to putting one guy there and just living with it, but I think if you have a couple of options, I think it helps. I think as long as you've got a couple of different guys that are capable of playing the position at a high level, or two guys that continue to get better, I think it's best for your club.